I'm gonna try to remember to do that. Also, if the stream explodes, I'm sorry. That's just, that, like, Also, that's right, I have to use my mouse. Alright, so we're just gonna hit new game. We're just gonna hit new game. We're just gonna go into it. I'm nervous. The original game scared me pretty well, and I'm not very good at dealing with being scared, so this is gonna be a whole thing. Okay, so it's Nighty. And hey there, Slug.
Hey!
I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. Are we treating this as blind? I am not. If it's new content to Doki Doki Plus, I'd rather people not talk about it. I don't honestly know how different this is gonna be, so I'm just kind of like, we used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me.
I overslept again. But I caught you this time.
Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you.
Aw, you say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Nighty.
Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something.
Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to.
Whatever you say, Sayori. It's fucking... By the way, I guess I'm doing voices. I decided on that. I think I did voices for the original Doki Doki. And it's easy because, you know, they're all female, so they're all kind of in my vocal range, save for the main character. We could just pretend that he hasn't, like, they haven't gone through puberty yet or whatever, so that works out. We cross the street together and make our way to the school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. Doki Doki. We're Doki Doki.
By the way, Nighty, have you decided on a club to join yet?
A club? I told you already, I'm not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. His balls haven't dropped, clearly.
Oh, that's not true. You told me you would join a club this year.
Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did, in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. I mean, same.
Uh-huh. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? And you know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world.
I honestly can't tell if the dialogue is the same or not. I'm genuinely gonna have to like sit and watch like my first playthrough of this and like see.
You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you.
Alright, alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though.
Will you at least promise me you'll try a little?
Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Games and candy are the best. I bought Twix earlier. Awesome, miss.
Yee!
Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. School. I will say this, like, the thing I was blown away by was just the quality of the artwork and like just the backgrounds and everything, considering it was a free-to-play game at the time. So just like, I still feel like I have to mention that this game used to be free and it's got some really nice artwork. I wonder if they, like, upscaled the drawings or anything afterwards, though. Like, just genuinely curious, because I can't remember. It's been so long. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice to start with the anime club.
Hello?
Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom.
I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in.
You're still waiting for the next game? I am so hyped for, like, whatever they come up with after this. Like, this was such a nice little premise.
Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed.
You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club.
Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know...
Know what?
Well, that you could come to my club.
Sayori,
Yeah?
there's no way I'm going to your club.
Aww, Nini.
Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. I forget if it was on the list. Do you plan on doing Zenki Zero? I plan on playing Zenki Zero. I didn't know it was a horror game. Is it a horror game? Like, let me know if it is. Like, I plan on playing it, but I honestly didn't think it was a horror game, so. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club.
Come on, please.
Why do you care so much anyway?
Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member, and Natsuki made cupcakes and everything.
Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay?
Yes, let's go.
And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I feel like the writing is different. I genuinely feel like the writing is different. Not that that's a bad thing. I really like it so far. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Zenki Zero, it's not really horror. Okay, good to know. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door.
Everyone, the new member is here.
I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room.
Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Ah, Yuri, my girl.
Sayori's always saying nice things about you.
Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere.
Nighty, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the literature club.
All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Yeah, Yuri's my girl. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki.
Oh,
The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori.
I'll just ignore her when she gets moody.
Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club.
Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with the people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you.
And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Nighty.
Like, Does the protagonist know Monica? Or is it saying that I know Monica because I have I have the original Doki Doki? Like, I'm genuinely curious if like there's a difference. Like, if you have like the stuff. If so, like, I need a Lego. It would be actually awesome if that changed. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was apparently the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica.
Come sit down, Nighty. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well?
The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Can I get some patch notes? If you would like to, sure. Educate me. Sorry, as Sayori mentioned, it's been widened, so there's one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Ah, so there's no choice here. Interesting. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Whoa! Natsuki lifts the foil of the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears.
So cute! I had no idea you were this good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one.
Sayori grabs the first one, then Monica. I follow.
It's delicious.
Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. But why are you thanking me? It's not like I wanted you to like it or anything. Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for you, you know, you, dummy. All right. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not...
Insulted, Yuri looks away.
I meant that. You know...
I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad.
Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me.
So, what made you consider the literature club?
I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so...
That's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? I couldn't possibly be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you the leader of the debate club last year? There's like, I need to like trim my hair again because like I've got like these couple of long strands of hair that like get in my bangs and then they tickle my nose and then I feel like I'm gonna die.
Well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. Feels like there's nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to go into literature, I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader.
Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't any more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club.
You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone?
Yeah. We'll do our best.
You know it.
Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're all delighted by the idea of a new club member joining, though I still don't know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature.
So, Nighty, what kind of things do you like to read?
Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga, I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet.
Not much of a reader, I guess.
Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me.
I second this.
And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds comfort in the world of books, not people.
But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Me. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
Me.
I read a horror book once.
I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be inviting a conversation with a rock.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror.
Oh, why is that?
Well,
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back! Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything about you is just as cute as you are.
Sayori slides up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders.
I'm not cute!
Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess sometimes.
Why do you care? I think it's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No!
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't
like them. Not a very confident writer yet?
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart.
I feel like so nervous right now, and I think that the reason I feel so nervous is because it's hitting me that like y'all can scare me at any time. No pressure to do so, but like I was like, why am I so nervous? I do streams like this all the time, and it's like it's the scare alerts. I brought the scare alerts back, that's why. So if I seem a little high strung, it's because of that.
Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work. Whoa!
My chat.
Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share.
Did somebody say scare?
God, that's so loud for me. Miss, thank you for the 500 biddies. Oh my gosh. Fanning self. You literally asked for that one. Well, no, because I was literally sitting there like, why am I so nervous? It's like, I'm usually not this nervous during my streams, and it's like, oh, that's why. I was like, I feel like I'm anticipating. Lol. Whatever. But thank you, Miss. Thank you so much. Oh. Like, I feel like my face is turning pink. I feel like once I eat, I'll feel a little bit, like, better. I'm also, like, starving. Aw, Yuri. No cry. I guess it's the same for Yuri.
Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems.
We all sit in silence for a moment.
Okay, I have an idea. Everyone?
What? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Nighty?
Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on. There's still one problem.
Oh, what's that?
Now that we're back in the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But...
I'm sorry, I thought...
Aw, Nighty.
You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy! Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment.
If you really just came for the cupcakes,
I would be super pissed.
then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club.
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone? I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring the next meeting so we can all share.
Okay, so what I did the very first time I played, I feel like I have to preface this because it's saved and we're gonna be watching this on the stream after this, is I just picked what I felt like picking. Either that or I think I might have gone for Yuri. That's probably what I did. But just for funsies, I'm just gonna pick what I want to pick. And then whatever we get is whatever we get. Because we all know what happens after all of this anyway. So let's go ahead and let's just keep that in mind. And we're just gonna pick what jumps out at me. Just because I would rather this be like a playthrough where I'm 100% picking the things that I want to pick. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I pick. This is very much an illusion of choice thing, as we all know from this lovely lady right here. Monica looks over at me once more.
Nighty, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already felt the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food.
Hey, Nighty, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together?
That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed at school for clubs. Sure, might as well.
Yay!
What could possibly go wrong here? Cute schoolgirls, happy music, books, poems. We're guaranteed to have a great time. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Just Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? I mean, it's pretty I'm gonna be real, the reasons why you're staying are pretty freaking shallow, and the novelty of these girls is going to wear off eventually, so... but who knows? Perhaps I'll have a chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Alright, so we're gonna really think about this. I'm gonna save, also. We might as well save here. And for now, I'm just gonna pick what I want. I like Starscape. Vivacious jumps out at me. Marshmallow. No, MC, you can't bone all the girls. Y'all. Disarray. Papa. Effulgent. Sticky. This is hard, because it's like, which word do I like the most out of this set of words that are completely different from one another? So it's just like, Let's go with heartbeat. Agonizing. What's history? Oh, okay. Electricity, sure. Extraordinary. Unrestrained. I got an achievement called Doki Doki Poetry Slam. Vivid. Doki Doki. I have to pick Doki Doki, come on. Melancholy. Heaven sent. Horror. Infinite. Memories. This has night in the name, so I feel like nightgown. Variants. Alright! Who do you think I got?
Hi again, Nighty. Glad to see you didn't run away on us.
Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Nighty. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even... Oh, Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. Imagine not picking Bunny. I said whichever word I liked the most. Bunnies are cute, okay. I killed the... Wait, does this work? Can I use a controller? Because that would be great. Oh, thank God. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan on just coming here and hanging out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Chat, y'all. I love you guys.
Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room.
I love how Monica says that while smiling. She's like, ah. I calls it as I sees it. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
Don't worry, guys. Nighty always gives it his best as long as he's having fun.
Hells yeah, I've got the biggest dick and the fattest nuts. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to give it my all and have some fun. Marian's is more than Bunny.
He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable.
Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once.
Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Nighty can become good friends too.
Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into.
Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Oh, wait, Sayori.
Me?
Not really. Don't be shy.
It's really nothing. What is it?
Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking.
I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what.
Is that so?
Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be.
Alright. Well, here.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted.
How's this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. That doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. And I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel really bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. Also, hold on, I got a message. Oh my god. So I feel like this is a funny thing. My sister is freaking out because her Roomba took off. And she doesn't know where it is. Can't you call those back? I feel like I've never owned a Roomba. Like, I don't... But, like, I feel like you should be able to call those things back, right? Like... I'm helping my family with their MIA Roomba. Their AWOL Roomba problem. That's cute. That's actually the cutest thing someone's messaged me about all week. I probably shouldn't say that since it's Sunday. Well, no, Sunday's the end of the week. Some people consider Sunday the beginning of the week because it's at the start of the calendar. That's like a whole thing. I used to think that, but it only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious how...
Oh, just curious how come you have 2 copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. She wants to read it with you, dumbass! It's not that hard. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and reliable story.
Is that so? What's it about, anyway?
Well...
Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back.
The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
Oh, is she talking? No, she's not.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart.
It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Nighty?
Ma'am, this is high school. It's like, no, it's not that. It's just, okay. I mean, I could definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. So she's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. Literally me.
It's just those kinds of stories. They challenge you to look at life from a strange, new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals, or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
You don't have to.
What are you saying? Just a moment ago you were saying you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I start here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in the company of someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry.
I was just... Yuri, you're really apologizing a lot, aren't you? Or, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do?
Nothing much. Apparently, by picking just the, things I wanted to pick, we ended up on Yuri's route again, so that works out.
I don't really mean to. Sorry.
I mean... Here, this should work, right? I stride. The desk grew legs and strode over. I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. Yuri's my spirit animal. She really is.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead, I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. I was trying to look at the CG, but I don't know the button for that. Gosh, the CG is so good. Like, it's so pretty. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel... It's esophagus! It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready? To turn the page?
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks.
We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. She's calling me dumb. I mean, truth. We continue to the first chapter in silence. I feel like if the MC can't tell that she likes him, now, there's no hope for him. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page and letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it underneath her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
You think so? How does she?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second-guesses a lot of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of you in some mannerisms.
I see.
Yuri remains silent for a moment.
But Nighty, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her.
This will be one of those flashbacks the MC will have 20 years later. Damn, she wanted the D. Rip.
It's so embarrassing that you think that.
Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really don't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more mean that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden?
Okay, everyone! I think it's about time we shared today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long.
Yuri exhaled, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb.
Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight.
Or, alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you?
I guess I don't have too much preference either way.
In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time.
Alright, I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yeah, the relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. No, well,
now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with?
I can't wait! Sayori and Monica physically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Alright. We got Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri. I'm just gonna go down the list. I definitely most comfortable sharing it with Sayori first. She's my good friend after all.
This is a good poem, Nighty.
Are you sure if it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time?
I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really part of the club now.
Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise.
See? It's just like I said before, Nighty. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do.
Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you.
Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then.
Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right?
Don't worry,
I'm really bad at this.
we'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. But if it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. I mean, same girl. I want breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm ravished. I could ravish me a burger right now. Or like some pancakes. I feel it. That I want breakfast at the end. I want a juicy cheeseburger. Well, alrighty then. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until morning to write this?
No, just a little bit.
You can answer just a little bit to a yes or no question.
I forgot to do it last night.
Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself.
Don't be mean. I still tried my best.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. You came in nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you.
Really?
I want breakfast is the perfect ending. I mean, truth, like, this is honestly, like, a really good poem. Like, I feel like a lot of people like, it's a song about the morning. It's like, it's the morning, you, like, get kind of like, ugh, and then what's the first thing you want? You want your breakfast, whether it's a coffee, like, just a coffee, or just, like, a drink or some water, Or, you know, if it's like a full course breakfast, like you get up and the first thing you're like, one of the first things you think of is, what am I putting down my gullet?
Yeah.
Especially that last line.
I made eggs and toast.
Even though you were late to school?
It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky.
Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me.
This is so much fun. Monica's the best.
Yeah. But next time,
I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever.
well, I guess I look forward to it. Who should I show my poem to next? I'm gonna show it to Natsuki. We're just gonna go down the list. Like I said, I want this to kind of sort of just be my picks instead of me like preferring anybody, and what better way to do that than to just go down the line. Alright, Natsuki. I'll be real, I didn't like Natsuki all that much. And then I realized why she is the way she is, and I was like, okay, I understand now. That doesn't mean that she wasn't a bit of a bitch at first. Just saying. Well, it's about what I expect from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. I just didn't evoke any emotions. Yeah, I remember now why I didn't like Natsuki at first. So basically, it's not cute enough for your tastes. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. She's up here like roasting my poem, and I'm sitting here like, you know what? I roasted your poem the first time I did this. Like, it's not even worth roasting again. Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it. We had pork schnitzel tonight. It was yum. Oh, guys, stop. I haven't eaten today. I'm so hungry. My brother isn't home yet, and it's like almost 8 p.m. I'm gonna die. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? The writing style wouldn't make your message any less vivid. Yes, exactly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then it made it fall flat on purpose. See, like, she's literally patting herself on the back. She's like, this is why it's so good. This is why my stuff is so good. I'm just like, girl. Like, I don't hate Natsuki. Like, as a whole entire character, like, she's great. But her first impression is garbage. Her first impression is so bad. And I'm just like, It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So, you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? Alright, let's go with Yuri. Ugh, I'm so hungry! Like, Sayori's poem just, I want breakfast. It's like, I know dashing. We're not doing that. We're not ordering food right this second. I will eat when food gets here. As Yuri reads the poem, I Otis Nerf. I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that?
Oh.
Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
Oh, he's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
That's...
I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly and then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words of the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Is this true, Nighty? I will say this. Yuri does have a point. Whenever I first started, like, writing stuff, like, just writing in general, like, and also, like, world building and stuff, a lot of the times I was so focused with making it, like, this has to be, like, the best thing ever, and, like, also trying to make it uniquely me, and, like, it's one of those things where you have to really just go, it's not that deep, don't take your stories don't take it too seriously. Like, at the end of the day, like, people aren't gonna like it, people are gonna like it, and if you take it too seriously, and you're, like, hyper-analyze everything, it's just not gonna, like, be a true representation of, like, you and your writing and just, like, everything, so, like, I feel like she does have a point in that regard. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Screechy! Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Joke's on you, I don't know how to read. Oof. I'm sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, or to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which is in itself kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Lol. Ghost under the light, the tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing, it must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Wow, deep. Yuri's deep. She writes in cursive. That makes the joke not entirely a joke now. Ooh. She writes in this, like, semi-cursive, so yeah. I'm wondering, do they still teach cursive in school? Do they still teach you how to write in cursive? Or did they get rid of that? I'm in the olden days where they still, like, they taught cursive, so. I heard, like, some schools don't teach cursive anymore, and honestly, thank fuck. I'm gonna be real with you, cursive sucked. I have a writing disability as it is. Like, I had a really, really hard time, like, learning how to write as it was, so it was just like, You were the last gen to learn cursive. You don't think they do in some states. I don't mind. I feel like it doesn't hurt to know cursive just so that way you can read it, but...
I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting.
Girl! Your handwriting's great!
What?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Oh, that's a relief. Also, I liked the poem.
She has, like, meticulous fucking cursive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, my handwriting sucks. It's like, oh, don't look at mine then. You think this sucks? I don't want you to know what, I don't want to know what you think of mine. Also, I like the poem, even though it's short. It was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you in a ghost series?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Nighty.
Based on what the poem was about, I would like to think that the story is about, actually, like, about a lamppost. And how they are being replaced by, like, better things. Like, they're being signaled out. It's like, it's like if she wrote about a phone booth, and, like, she's like, ah, yes, this phone booth, the last working phone booth, soon you will go away to the annals of time and be replaced by something else. It's like recognizing that things will eventually get replaced by better things in the future. Question mark. I don't actually know. Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it, after all. But remember, the poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work.
Yeah, or oil lamps into electric posts, yeah.
They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In the case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort and able to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. Hadn't even thought of that. I want enchiladas. I want enchies. That's impressive.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours is impressive too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Nighty.
Me too. Alright, that leaves Monica. Just Monica. I'm gonna text my brother and tell him to let me know when he's home because I'm starving. I thought I heard the door open. I'm just gonna be like, let me know when you're home. Why did it, no winky face, that's weird. Huh? That's like the weirdest. So Nighty, you planning on finishing a game of stream? No. No, this game's too long. We're probably gonna be playing this for at least 2 to 3 days. Especially because I'm gonna have to look up, like, how to get to the extra content that I haven't seen. But alrighty, let's go for Monica. How long is this game? It took 4 casts for us to beat the original. But that also was, like, without us going through. Oof. I mean, we've got a whole month, though, and I might decide that I want to do longer streams, so you never know. Like, this might be done earlier, cast-wise. It's just, I want to say that I'm definitely going to be streaming from 7 to midnight, just to give myself a time frame and say, I will definitely be live these days. I thought it was a semi-short game. We haven't even gotten to the horror yet. Yeah, no, you're in for a long ride. This is like a very slow burn game. It takes a while for it to, like, hit you. And then when it hits you, it hits you. Oh yeah! In fact, I would highly recommend that if you are not about like it's got a lot of disturbing imagery. Like, if you don't like imagery that is reference to suicide, self-harm, murder, and just all manner of other things, I highly suggest you like click off, because there's a lot of like really, really graphic content in this later on. So just throwing it out there that this game gets really graphic later, like really graphic. I feel like I should warn people. Like, even I was like, whoa, okay. Like, I had to like take a minute to go, that really was on my screen. All right. Like, it's gonna get real messy. Like, I'm earning my mature content, stream tag thingy today.
Hi, Nighty. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, since you're new and everything, if you have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid of bringing things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'd be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess
I have to.
Don't worry, Nighty. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But that's the sort of barrier we all learn to get past soon.
You moved the boy's cat to the apartment today. I am so sorry for you, Rain. Especially if the cat is extremely skittish. Like, I have war flashbacks from moving my cat. He's currently under our bed wondering why father has betrayed him so. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Speaking of skittish, fireworks! Happy 4th of July, everybody, if you give a shit about 4th of July. I personally don't, but happy 4th! But yeah, no, I feel that. My cat hates. It took several visits before he would accept treats from me. He never mind pets. Aw, poor thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, my cat, like, is literally in love with me. Like, I'm the thing she loves most in the world, and when I moved her, she would not... She, like, hid in her crate for, like, 2 days. I would only come out when I wasn't in the room to eat and use the litter box. Like, if I came in and she was, like, out, she would dart back in. So it was, like, a whole thing where she just wasn't having my shit for a while. I hand Monica my poem.
Mm-hmm. Great job, Nighty. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest
for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. He saw me come into the bedroom to put away laundry while slinking below hiding spots, freeze and scatter. Aww.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it.
Cats are cool, makes you miss your little asshole. I feel that. Latka is my 3rd cat. Jojo is my 3rd dog. I've had 3 cats, 3 dogs, and I cherish the memories that each of my little fur babies has given me.
It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It could take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry too much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learning, and learn by trying new things.
That wasn't even the scare alert that scared me. Shit!
It's almost the sex number.
Rain, thank you so much for the 68 months of support. Thank you so much for supporting the fam. It is good to have you with us here today. As we explode. Oh, thank God. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this.
That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find that kind of styles that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Because you really don't have to worry about impressing them or anything. You don't have to impress anyone. You just have to impress me. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's just because I sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see.
Well, let's read it then.
Hole in wall. I can make all kinds of jokes about that. I'm not going to, though. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes? A nosy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina is already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. Just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite dark choices. I realize now. I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. I feel like whenever I broke this game down the first time, I feel like what I noticed was that a lot of Monica's poems had to do with breaking the fourth wall and trying to directly either make references to the player or things like that. So I'm assuming that this means a literal hole in the fourth wall. She's noticed that there is something going on. I feel like that's what's happening. I feel that's what I'm going to say. Somebody's gonna come in here and be like, actually, Nighty, it is this. But that's just what I'm saying.
So what do you think?
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, this kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays.
It's actually about dicks in a glory hole. Or that, that works too. Sometimes poems mean different things to different people. So
that is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. That's what the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. I realized I'm just a video game character in a video game, and that none of my choices really matter. It's been influencing my poems a little bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. Kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try too hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a bit of dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today.
That's actually very good advice. Honestly, whenever I have to write a script or something, I literally just write what I'm thinking, and I don't worry about grammar, I don't worry about any of that, and I just go back and I fix it up after I've gotten everything that I want to get out on paper. It is very, very, very good writing tip. I feel like I'm gonna judge Monica's writing tips. Screw it. We'll do this. For those of you who do not know, I dropped out of college, but I was going for literary analysis, so probably wouldn't have changed much if I finished my degree or not anyway, so it's fine.
Thanks for listening.
Alrighty, I think with that, I'm gonna take my first break. So that's gonna kind of sort of be where we break for right the second.